What is going on here? I wonder if this is a YouTube issue.
I don't know. Let's have a... Not sure. Let's see.
No. Okay, it does show we're live.
Does show we're live. That's good.
It does, yeah.
That's good. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry for our technical difficulties. Not sure if it's YouTube or something tonight playing up, but never normally had any issues, and hopefully we're sounding okay and not like a pair of robots anymore. So let's fingers crossed that it is all good. But the only proof in the pudding, as they say, is you guys. If we are sounding okay, which I'm pretty sure that you will give us the feedback. So we're just trying. Well, I'm just trying to load into the sim to get it up so we can start going through the penalties. Come on. Launch that. We sounding okay, guys? So you getting any feedback, Tom?
Yeah, they say that we sound in. They can see and we sound fine.
Jolly good. For the next 5 minutes, at least, anyway. Right, so
Yeah,
I'm just
probably
loading into the iRacing setup, and we can get underway with the thing. So all I can do, guys, is apologise. Normally try to do some really good streams, but it seems that tonight has very much not been our night. Luckily, it's not a race night, so it doesn't enjoy your entertainment, and you don't.
Yeah, my direct messages aren't going mental, so that's always a good sign.
Right, so let's see. Yep, so we are just loading in at the moment. So what can we talk about until this loads in? Because it is quite a big file and it takes a couple of minutes. Good on iRacing. But what's been your highlight so far, Tom?
My highlight so far was I hate to say it, Michael Hooper's spin in round one.
That's a bit harsh.
I'm sorry.
Do you know what my highlight is?
I just couldn't believe it, though. I couldn't believe it.
Weird.
That was
a weird one. It was a weird one. How he spun there. My highlight is
we could fill them in on a mid-season thing when you've done your highlight.
Wow, we could do. But my highlight is getting you out of the car and into the comms box. I knew you were super nervous first time, but doing it. But you've done very well, mate. You know, for your first time actually being on the broadcast. And I'm obviously challenging myself as well as not just being the commentator, but trying to produce it at the same time. So pushing the boat out on all our avenues in Performance Link. So that's always good. So yeah, mid-season. So obviously, whilst we are sorting this out and trying to get onto the session, the mid-season. Do you want to tell them a little bit about the mid-season, Tom, while I get in and sort myself out?
Yeah, so we've had a little bit of a collaboration with the Olympus Esport guys. We're looking to put on a mid-season endurance race. We have a very interesting car selection, which everyone's going to love. It's a free car. It's a GT3. And if you can guess what it is, type it in the chat.
Obviously, if you don't know about it, if you know about it, then it's not fair, is it?
No, if you know which car it is, but we'll see. It's an American car. Let's put it that way. So
not many GT3 American ones, though, are there?
No, there aren't. That should narrow it down a fair bit. So, but anyway, for people that can't type fast, the Cadillac. So our mid-season event is going to be in the Cadillac GT3 car. So it's a free car for everybody. Nobody is going to have. Our Dean Mook suggested the Ford. That would have been almost better, but you have to buy the Ford, don't you? I think.
Yeah, probably not a lot of people have got it because it's a car that nobody wants to drive.
Yeah, we couldn't do that to anybody. make people buy the Ford just so they can compete. So, yeah, so it's going to be mid-season. It's going to be a endurance event. There's going to be additional cash prizes up for grabs there. So That's coming from us, and that's also coming from Olympus, but the majority of it is coming from Olympus. So so massive thank you to them, and massive thank you to Charles Bochel for putting that suggestion forward. As far as the format, I believe we're doing a relay style. Are we not, Andy?
We certainly are, and you're not going. And the other added bit to add a bit of spice to it is where you're not going to be choosing your teams. The teams will be chosen on one of these podcasts. In there's going to be a team of four per drivers. Luckily, the numbers at the moment seem to be quite timed, so it should be one pro am, one am, and one rookie in each of the teams. It's going to be a relay race. So each driver will do an hour in the car, and then you hand over to the next one, and it's pretty much winner takes all. And the team captains are obviously going to be the pro drivers, and it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, it'd be interesting actually if we can get up on screen a picture of what the Cadillac paint is going to look like. That's something that's going to be quite crazy. So on the car itself, on the side, we have a banner which is going to say your team name. So that's going to be a nice big indicator. All the cars are going to be a very, very similar paint design. So there's no specific paint that anyone's going to have to upload or anything. So it's really going to look like a proper and a fixed setup. Yeah, fixed setup. God, could you imagine that open setup on the Cadillac?
I know. Casper would be happy with that because he likes his fixed setups. I don't think he's a setup guy. Is our Casper?
No, that's a good point. That is a good point. So, but yeah, fixed setup. That'll be so it's going to be a nice even playing field and an interesting mix-up. So it'd be crazy to see who wins the money. I mean, that's I wish I could drive in it. That would be great.
No, mate, you're on the comms team, unfortunately. Now
you're
never going back to driving. Yeah, you've got to accept the fact now that you're on the comms team.
I just bought Hussein Bell pedals.
Mate, I've got a rig sat there that I haven't driven probably since October because the amount of commentating I'm doing on Performance Link that's stopping me. So I'm not even gonna worry about you crying a little bit that you're not using your Hussein pedals, mate.
I have my pedals inverted, so they make a good footrest. Gives me something to do.
It is annoying me now because I'm opening a session. I can see it underneath, but when I try to open it, it's not showing me on my screen. This is starting to annoy me. What is going on here?
Oh, the Windows button. You did build that PC, didn't you, Andy?
I did. I did build this PC, and it's awesome. It's not mine. It is other things. Did my customer? Yeah, this is weird.
We also have a new thing being worked on in the wings at the moment by David Chadwick, and that is a new bot that we have coming to the Discord. So we're going to have a bot that is able to bring up all of the standings from the championship direct from iRacing, driver stats, who has the fastest laps, who's done best performance over a certain amount of races, and a lot of different things that we'll be able to bring in. So I keep getting pings in the corner of my PC telling me that he's working on it and writing unfathomable amounts of code. So yeah, super grateful for that. Tom Savage said, "Do we know the track for the special event yet?" Asking for a friend.
Yes, it's actually Alton Park. We're gonna visit Alton Park. Should be all up.
Well, I'm currently live and it shows us. So, can you guys see the stream moving? Working? Oh, we're back.
We're back. Good. There we go. Right, so I have a few technical difficulties tonight. It's been certainly challenging, that's for sure. But let's get into the meat and two veg of the broadcast anyway and look at the protests. So we got 10 protests to look at. So the first one is Jimmy Vark with Michael Cody entering the S's, have a run after turn one, and he turns in and causes a huge pile-up. So this might be that huge pile-up we were talking about. So let's have a look.
Yeah, it was certainly a couple of huge pile-ups.
Jimmy Vark, where are you, Jimmy? There you are. Lap. Race lap number 5. All right, so it's in the far chase. This is lap number 5. So this is lap number 5. Let's have a look. Ooh, Jesus. Well, that's the one we saw on the stream, wasn't it, with Paul Joseph Clissnat? Look at that. Wow, okay. Let's go back.
Do we dare share your screen on Discord?
Yeah, let's try it then. Oh, yeah, you can't see it, can you? Let's try it. So, screen share. Go live. There you go. Let's hopefully see that. You see that, mate?
I certainly can. Perfect.
Okay, so here it is. So coming here, Jimmy gets a really good exit out of this corner. The problem is these two are fighting out in front, which will make him naturally slower. Looks down the inside, and then obviously the cascading effect, and then just causes the issue. So let's have a look.
Yeah, not good.
I'm not actually, because oh, don't I see it, do I? So have a look at these two coming down in this corner. So trying to go around the outside here, cuts back on the inside, will naturally be slower, fighting very close.
I don't think he had any. He didn't really have any idea he was there. I don't think.
I don't think he saw him, to be honest.
No, because his line was quite tight anyway.
And then I think once he gets hit, he loses control of his car. Let's have a look on board when he gets hit, see what he does.
Probably panics. I would panic. So he's probably focusing very much down the track.
Yeah, trying to get the passing opportunity, misses it, and then you can just see he's trying to save it, and then hits. I mean, he's got saved by Jimmy, hitting into Jimmy again, I think.
Yeah,
he was losing it there. He was literally, you can see there. And then you can see the carnage and shoes behind.
Kraft said Spotter called it early.
I mean, I suppose that's the thing. I mean, if you look back here, he's been overtaken by, who is that? Anyway, Michael. Michael and Michael. Two Michaels. So Michael gets the inside line on him coming down into turn number 1, which obviously pushes Michael slightly out wide, which is going to make him naturally slower. You can see Jimmy in the background there gets a really good run on him.
Yeah.
This should, I mean, if you're using, see that switch there. That was really weird. Watch it. It's there. Look. Whoa.
That looks a bit different from that angle. Can you go on the bumper of the Audi, like rear bumper? So
yeah.
Have a little look at that a sec.
He would. I mean, the thing. I think the thing for me is that everybody uses some sort of thing, and if you're not, it's probably a really good illustration as to why you would use a program to tell you if a car's coming up on you. Because if you did use a program that tells you car left, car right, you would have got that in your ear that there's a car left when you were trying to move over. Like now, you probably get a car left. You wouldn't get anything now, but certainly coming up to the corner there, you would get car inside or something on the inside line, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a, I mean, he has a responsibility to understand that there's a car there. I mean, Simeon Moldiclef says, I think every driver should be aware of everything around, and more when you have a bad exit and still are so close to the car behind. It's a good point.
I agree with that.
Yeah, it is a good point. You generally know when and where people are around you. Let's play it from this angle again, mate.
Yeah, because I want to see.
Oh, actually, do far chase.
So that's good. I mean, that is perfect. I mean, Jimmy had the line. Jimmy had the line into that corner. You can see back here that Michael gives him the inside line into the corner, and obviously that is a line. So from looking from Jimmy didn't do anything to cause any accidents. I think it was just so close, wasn't it? It's whether would you get car inside there? So
it would be very close. If you do Control F12, you can actually rotate the camera around.
Yeah, you can, but then it just messes everything up for. In fact, I don't really.
For the other stuff you can't. Yeah.
I mean, I suppose this is the point where it's coming up alongside him, so you can sort of see.
You'd have a call by that. That would give you a call.
Yeah. So I think it's a bit. I can understand because obviously in the heat of the moment that Michael will be fixated on second. Michael Goff there. He got a really good exit into turn one. So, but that still doesn't negate the fact that like you should know the cars around you. So I think for me. It's a little bit of. I mean, it's an AM driver, 2 AM drivers. So, it's for me. I think it's a level 1 because it's not a level 2. I don't think it was malicious. I think
it's more lack of awareness as opposed to.
I think so because
he just makes his progression across. He doesn't try and defend or block or anything. He just progresses.
No, he's just following the car in front and then gets caught out by the car coming on his inside. I mean, if you look back here, how far, if I come back to Jimmy, he's probably around about a second behind at this point in time.
Yeah, maybe even a smidge more.
But gets such a good exit out of turn number 1 because these two are fighting. Literally, your time's just coming down. And I think it might have caught him out, but that still doesn't negate the fact that Michael should have.
It's lack of awareness, isn't it?
If
you back up a bit there, you can see the Audi's actual reaction once he realizes there's a car there. So he swerves like he's like, "Oh Christ! Oh God!"
and loses it, and then it's the fact that he hits Jimmy that keeps him going on. But then, sort of the carnage from behind. God. Oh. This was that big pile up that we actually saw. So I think for me, guys, and for a bit of awareness, I think it's a level 1. Penalty to Michael for obviously I understand in the heat of battle when you're thinking, but you've also got to be aware of the cars around you, and if you're using or not using, we don't know if you are a software that says like race labs, is it?
Maybe I'll add a link to Crew Chief. Maybe
Crew Chief, yeah. If people haven't got Crew Chief,
Crew Chief is the best one, really. It does all your fuel. It does. It does everything you want it to do. You can customize it. You can set it to voice recognition. You can, and it's free. Like it's an absolute no-brainer. Is it free? I think it's free. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's free.
Yeah, it's free. Yeah, it's free.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's understanding the surroundings, guys, and obviously not trying to do there because obviously you did close him off, but I think you were caught out with the fact that Jimmy was super quick out of that corner to be able to do it. So I think that's a level 1 for me. You agree?
I agree.
You can disagree if you want, mate. I'll let you.
Appreciate that.
Okay. Number 2 is Gordon Haig on Russ Fowler. Turn 3, holding the racing line and crashed from behind. So let's have a look at this. So let's hope, Gordon, you got the correct lap here.
Dean Moke said, "Can you confirm what the difference is between level 1 and level 2?"
So level 1 is almost like a minor infraction. So where there is sort of slight blame, but it's not a blame. So like a level 2 would be to ram into the back of the driver, because you can clearly see the driver in front of you. You're in control of the car to be able to where you're seeing, and therefore you shouldn't be hitting into a car. I think a level 1 in this situation, why we've given it to him, is because at the time when he was probably looking at his relative, Jimmy was a little bit further back. He had a really good exit out that corner, and when it comes up to this corner here, I think he's just caught out by the fact that Jimmy's got on to his inside as such. So it's not like a blatant one going into the back of the car. There is an error there. He's made an error, but it's like a minor error. So it's like, yeah, that's probably the best way I can see it. But what's the rule say, actually? I always like to refer
It
to
says,
my
I can read it right now if you like. Stage 1 can be awarded for obstruction in qualifying during the race. Minor incidents that don't meet the stage 2 criteria could incur a stage 1, such as hitting someone off track aggressively from the side, causing loss of positions. Stage 2 is awarded for causing extensive damage to another car in the form of loss of position time, changing racing line in an aggressive manner, and braking. So it's the aggressive portion that is the big sort of factor in a stage 2. It's, this was just an accident, but he still needs a penalty because he should have been paying attention. That's the big thing here. He didn't defend really hard, and you can see by his reaction that he swerves away immediately as soon as he sees that there is a car there. But he should have either some kind of program on about crew chief, and I'll post something in Driver Chat about that as well with a link to it. And he should know his surroundings,
Yeah, and also side by side is it's a lot less severe than hitting somebody, say, from behind, because you're in the control of the car. You can see the car in front of you. When it's side by side and where the position is in the cars, it's a lot harder to sort of maybe see the cars on your inside. But this one is blatantly coming across the driver, not realizing he was probably there until last minute, as we see, and you can see him erratically turning him. So that's why it's not a racing incident, because he's clearly caused an incident. So, but it's sort of a level 1. Hopefully that sort of explains it a little bit. Okay, so Gordon, let's hopefully you got the right lap this time. So let's have a look. So Gordon's saying lap number 28. So Gordon Haig, lap 28. Turn number 3.
Yeah, correct, guys. Yeah, my mic is quite directional, so I'll look this way when I talk.
Exactly. I was like thinking, is it just me, or did you was going in and out and in?
Yeah.
Out?
It's because I keep looking at the other screen. Okay. It's because I read the penalties looking at that screen over there, and my mic is there.
Yeah, that's what you got to be aware of, having a static mic and not a mic on the side of your face.
Yeah, good point. You wouldn't want to wear this mic on the side of your face.
Okay, let's have a look. What?
Yeah, pretty much. It's funny you say that, Savage. I fell asleep last night. I was doing some stuff on the laptop, and I fell asleep with my head like this, with my arm resting on my face. And then when I woke up in the middle of the night, and I was still leaning on it, and my neck was just agony.
To me, this is neck cold. So let's see if we can see it from the front angle. So I can change this around now. So there is space there for Russ to be able to make a move here. So let me slow this down. It's no contact, no contact, no contact side, and then all of a sudden Gordon's car just gets spit over to the side. So there was room there. If we look at this one. So there's room there to go up onto the inside to make that challenge, because Gordon's given the opportunity there to go on the inside from what I'm seeing here. And
Yeah, he's left the door open a bit.
Left the door open, or really slow it down. We can sort of see the Savage, and so it's coming alongside. They're close, but they're not touched. And then all of a sudden, Gordon's back end just gets pushed out, and then obviously Gordon comes across, and then that's when Russ secondary hits the car as such. So.
Is that netcode? It looked like netcode. Go back.
Yeah, it certainly is. When you run it at speed, you can see it. So there's gap in the middle, gap there, and then his car just gets punted. Because you normally see some, if it's a contact, you normally see some deforming of the car. You also see the deforming of the car, but you're not seeing anything. So if we go to rear chase.
It's a bit difficult to see on that angle because of the darkness.
So there's no there's no contact there between the cars. You can see it. See, no contact. And then the back end of
and then a massive punt. Yeah, it's netcode.
Gets punted out. There's no damage on any
It's close netcode, but it is netcode.
Yeah, and there was opportunity there, and then that's where you get the secondary hit. So I think for me, and it's so annoying netcode. You know, what I'll have to have a look into why it does that. I think it's the differences in servers and stuff like that, isn't it? But yeah, you can sort of see there that unfortunately that for me is netcode. But it's just so savage. You can
Savage,
sort of see.
Savage said, "Is it relevant that they might not be in the same class?" Not really.
Well, no. What class are they in? I think they're both in the same class, aren't they? Russ is.
What's the number of the car in front?
Yeah, rookie and Gordon is Am, so it's rookie against Am here, isn't it?
Craft.
I think the thing for me, the thing is that Gordon's just coming out of the pit, so Gordon's not going to be at speed. Where obviously, if we look back from Russ's car, we'll just watch it here at normal speeds coming around here. He's going to be at a lot faster speed than what Gordon is, because Gordon's literally just there coming out of the pits. So you can already see that Russ is gaining the speed on him because he's got that difference in speed. So it does have that inside line to be able to. And then unfortunately, that's where the net code happens. So, you know, we wouldn't, you know, on that side. So that's obviously another factor. If they were both around the same area, I wouldn't expect
I just want to bring up what Craft said in the YouTube chat, which I think is like crucial information here. He said, "Safest way for Gordon to deal with that is to leave either no space or more space."
Yeah,
which actually he does go on to say to allow for netcode, but I mean you shouldn't have to allow for netcode because it's just one of those things. But the first part of what you said there is absolutely spot on. You know, you want to either defend or not defend. That's
so the other thing for me is
you don't want to float in that grey area.
Did Gordon take tyres? Yes, he did. So his tyres are going to be really slippy as well. So that's obviously another slight factor. So he's changing his tyres here. So as you all know, the tyre model on iRacing now is sort of super treacherous on that first opening lap.
Yeah. Well, first lap. Well, probably one lap around.
One or two laps, isn't it? So
2 laps around most places, yeah.
So yeah. So for me, that one's sort of unfortunately netcode.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, next one is Michael Cody on Jimmy Vark causing a meatball. Is this the same one driving up the hill right and causing a major incident? Is this? Oh, this is the incident from before. So obviously Michael's done it against Jimmy. We've already seen that Jimmy's not a fault on that. It's the same incident we just viewed, causing a major incident up there and causing a meatball. Obviously, we've already decided, Michael, that you came across the line, so therefore, you know, you were the one that was at wrong in that occasion. So, that one's going to be already reviewed. So that was the same one. Okay, next Steve Pierce on Gordon Haig. Turn 2, going up the S's. Gordon crashes coming out of turn 1 and carries on with a broken car with his steering at an angle. He went in onto the racing line just as I was coming up. Looked like he was going left and then right. And I already committed to going right and got squeezed into the barrier, causing me damage. Okay.
Isn't that the definition of crabbing?
Quite obviously.
Looks like he's going left but going right.
Quite possibly. I'll have to have a look. Steve is... I mean, is that the same? No, it's a bit further on. Gordon looks like he's not had much luck.
Crab said, I would have taken the line, and it's just bad luck for the following car because I need to stick it. I need to stick it on the cold tires. Diving is interesting given that there's no braking zone. Ugh, can't talk, sorry.
I mean, what was that? This guy was talking about the penalty beforehand, is he?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, the one before.
Yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? You've literally just come out the pitch, your tyres are cold. And as we saw, it was net cold. I think if it wasn't that...
Tricky one.
What's happened here?
Did he lose it? I think he lost it turn 1 then. The curb strikes again.
Spank the wall. Yeah, his car's all over the place.
Oh my god, that is a crab. In my opinion, after the accident, he should have been off the line. Immediately off the racing line.
He's not making it obvious either. He's like in the middle of the road.
Like the grey area. Again.
It's very much which way you're going to go, which way you're going to go. You're on the inside, and that's what the car's done on the outside, and then he goes on the outside. So I think the one thing is that was an extensively damaged car. We saw there how much he was crabbing. You can see on in the cockpit. He's trying to turn and he literally can't turn. And you can sort of see here how bad that car is.
I think he didn't realise how Torben said the right thing here. It turned good to the right, but not good to the left.
But as soon as you know your steering wheel, you can see there his steering wheel's look at a 45-degree angle, trying to keep. He can't keep it in a straight line.
Yeah. Trying to tell.
Chase.
Yeah, it's a good point. Torben said he's trying to stay in line, I think, but it won't turn. So he's probably trying to stay to the left of the track, but it physically will not continue turning left.
So this is a good one, guys, because it's a car that's massively extensively damaged, and with you being sort of the damaged car, it's your responsibility to try and make it obvious for, I suppose, cars behind you to make that pick, because you're going to be going so slow. I mean, if we look from Steve's point of view, let's have a look from back here, going through turn number 1. We'll go on board. It's coming around the corner. Obviously, he's going to be at normal speed, getting up. You can see there the car on the inside of the track. Comes up, comes behind him, and then, right, I'm going on your outside, and switches.
Yeah, and if, yeah. Well, as per the rules, if you have the rules up handy, 6.3.7.
I don't think it's a stage 3 penalty. I know it's attempting to drive an excessively damaged car. I think you've got to give drivers an opportunity to see if they can drive the car, because I think the accident it's happened here. So if this was, say, coming down into the chute, because you're always going to want to give yourself the opportunity to try and get back to the pits, because you're going to lose a lot of time if you go in.
Yeah. So it is. There's a mitigating circumstance to that. I agree. The incident has just happened.
It's just happened, so he's trying to see what his car is like. And probably by this stage, he probably knows it's knackered, but he can't do a lot. I suppose he can't do a lot with the fact of the car behind.
It's a bit of a nightmare one to call, really, because
I think the only problem I have is that obviously everybody knows when they get damage on their car how it's going to be, but if you've got a car that far behind you, and I think the thing for me is that Steve actually, you can see here, he's flashing him to say, I'm coming through.
And he's braking. He dabbed his brakes there to see what was going on and what was happening. So
exactly. So he's looking at the car going on the inside. And he's trying to get around the outside, but then obviously we've got Gordon, is it Gordon? Yeah, Gordon going on the outside and literally hits into the side of him. So this is good education for everyone, is that if this happens, it's very much the responsibility of the car with the damage on to try and make it as easy and obvious for the fast car behind, so he can make that line coming up. Because the one thing that Steve doesn't know at this point, because at this stage he can't see the accident's just happening here around the right hand side of the bend, so he can't even see that there's an accident happening. So therefore, when he's coming around here, all he's seeing is a car in front of him, which is there. He's not seeing an accident or anything like that. So as far as he's aware, that car's going at speed, but then he can see the gap closing super quick. Like you say, he dabs on the brakes either slow down, tells him he's going on the outside, and then the car in front obviously hits him into the wall. So for me, I think that is a level 1 for is it level 1 or a level 2? I'd say that was a level 1. It's borderline level 2 for me.
See, I personally think it's a level 2 because at the end of the day, the car's absolutely battered. He does come across the racing line, which he never should have done after a collision like that. I mean, I can only look at it from my personal perspective. Like, if I was driving that car, I just had a massive crash in the McLaren, I'd be like, oh my God, look at my relative. Who's coming behind me? I would immediately be off the racing line. I wouldn't even go near the racing line. And he can tell his steering is at a certain angle. I mean, the only thing that is an absolute saving grace to him here is that the Audi behind, yes, gets contact, but doesn't get killed. If the Audi behind got killed, it would be instantly a level 3 as per the rules. I mean, it could still be a level 3 because of the rules right now, but it's not. Because the accident's only just happened, he hasn't really fully learned the damage to this. It's a nightmare to call this one. Absolute nightmare. I mean,
he's not going into repair, but he still causes damage. You can see damage on the right-hand side of the car. Definitely. So he will have aero damage. So, okay,
Yeah, that is true, Simeon. Simeon said he is testing to be as predictable as possible with trying to stay at the left, but the car doesn't turn left. The only thing is that he has the accident on the right-hand side of the track. So the racing line goes right to left. He should have stayed on the right, off of the racing line. Just back it up there, Andy.
I think the only thing for me, if I look back here and just watch the wheel, you can see the wheel coming up up now. So here it is down the bottom of the screen. It's starting to turn slightly. Turn in, and it almost stops at 45 degrees. And so you can see slight little movements of steering wheel coming on, but then it's coming off. Look at, do you see that?
Yeah,
it's actually coming off. Now, if you were trying to keep to the inside, why is that wheel still not turning fully?
Have it on hard lock.
Yeah, why is it not on hard lock? Why is it coming? Why is it coming off? So when you're coming in here, you can see it's turning, he's turning, and then it starts coming off. You know, I'm not.
Yeah.
If you were trying to, I suppose the thing for me, if you're trying to keep to that inside line, you would either try and slow down, because you got a completely battered car. You're not going to be able to do any speed at all. So you're almost like a rolling chicane, I suppose, for me. So yeah, I think I'd go. It's certainly an education for everyone. When you're looking at that sort of damage of a car, is you really need to go. And I think the thing that for me is, you can see the car behind who's flashing to say he's there, and you can see he's going on his outside, because you're not giving him the opportunity to come up the inside. So he's trying to go around the outside. So you've got to stick to your line. You start on the left-hand side and then move over to the right-hand side. I understand it's not turning, but it doesn't seem like it's turning the full lock in my eyes. And you can see there, it's just coming right across the track, and unfortunately hits Steve into the side. That's why I'm sort of thinking it's a level 1, because he may have been trying to steer and not steer.
Can you back it up a sec, mate? Back.
But a level 2, because possibly that's Steve. It's, to me, like I said, it's that borderline 1-2.
At this point now, if it were me, I would be glued to that right-hand side of the track, because I know the racing line is the left-hand side of the track.
Yeah.
I've got a battered car. I'm not going to go anywhere near the racing line. Whether my steering is good or not, I'm not going to drive on the racing line until I've figured out what my car's doing. Do you know what I mean? Because that amount of contact, it wasn't a little nudge, was it? I mean, he smacked quite hard into the wall.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see he can't turn left. As soon as he turns left, it just spins out because the car's like super damaged.
Yeah.
Now it does take, and obviously by that stage he's decided, you know what, I'm going to go back to the pits because I can't drive it. And I think that's the mitigating for me, is the fact that it's literally just happened here. So the accident's just happened, and that's the mitigating bit for me. It's just happened. You want to see where your car is, can you drive it? And then, as you know, just going up here, that's when Steve's coming behind him, just flashing his lights to say on the outside, but he hits him. So there is a penalty there. It's what is it, in my eyes. No, so Simeon, I've said to say, why blue flags say stay on racing line, but damaged car send it. So as a damaged car, so what you've got to take into a fact, Simeon,
not a race pace.
Is the race pace difference. Now, although a blue flag is a faster car's coming behind you, you're going to be going at a decent speed. The problem you have here is you've got a car that's literally going probably not even a third the speed of the faster car behind. So it's got to be the responsibility of the slower car to make it clear. It's all about trying to make it clear and obvious for the driver behind, so he can pick a line and get past you. The problem we have here is the clear line is the inside, the outside, because if you watch here where Gordon's coming around the corner, then goes to the inside of the track here. So the car behind at this point, if you look back where Steve is, he's seeing that this car is on the inside. So he's going to make this beeline for the outside to go around, knowing now that that car is damaged.
You have to remember as well, Kraft, every racing incident is different. Every single one is different. There's no exactly the same incident. So, saying last season was one thing, this season something different. It's not the same incident.
This is not a damaged car is different. If it wasn't a damaged car and basically there was other factors like a blue flag and it was that sort of, then it's different. This is a damaged car, and like Tom said, completely different on every occasion, because the damage to one car can be a lot different than the other. So the damaged car, when you're looking at a damaged car, you want to try and make it clear and obvious for the cars, because you're almost like a rolling roadblock to other drivers. So it's got to be the responsibility of the person with the damaged and the massively slower car to be clear and precise to the faster cars behind them.
Yeah, damaged car, not slower car.
Damaged car, yes. If it's a slower car and it's a blue flag, like the rules say, is stay on the racing line, be and what you're trying to be is you're trying to be obvious and predictable of where you're going to put your car. So then the car behind you can make that passing move clearly. If you're all over the road going on the racing line, off the racing line, then the car behind, as you can see here, when he comes up, he actually brakes because he doesn't know now where that car in front is going. So it's committed to the outside, but there you can see he's trying to brake to slow down, but because of the speed difference between the two cars, he's just got no option.
Yeah,
So it's got to be the responsibility of the slower car to be able to stay out of the league.
Damaged car,
damaged hell of a slow car.
Yeah.
So what we're saying, level 1 or 2? 2.
I think it's 2 personally.
Okay, I'll go with you on that and say 2.
The only other reason that I say that is, and I'll, if the guys in the chat don't agree with me, please say. Whenever
that's the thing. That's why you have.
That's why we have this.
Yeah. Have the option. No, we have the option to do. We won't change our outcome from this if me and you decide the level. The driver can obviously appeal it if he feels aggrieved, and obviously, like we said, it's done by somebody independent that will have a look at the incident and then make the decision. But the other side of the coin is that it can actually go up another level if the independent thinks, no, that driver shouldn't have been driving that car. So it can go both ways, but that is the option open to the drivers that are getting the penalty. All right, next one. Michael Hooper with Thomas Cope. I thought this was the first round. I thought this managed to get round.
The reason it's not a level 3, Savage, is because the incident has only just happened, and he hasn't. He's had some time to realise the car's damaged, but not enough. He said if this isn't a level 3, you need to rewrite the rules. The rules. Every incident is different, and it's very difficult for us to be. We try and be subjective to every single incident and look at it from all the angles. It's not. Yes, you can have rules that are set in stone, but not every incident is set in stone. Do you know what I mean? It's a difficult one to call. Like I personally don't think it's a level 1, like Andy said. And
I was borderline.
Borderline, and
1, 2.
We don't think it's a level 3 because he didn't continue driving for a period of time. I mean, he hadn't even turned left yet. So
no,
it's.
That was the mitigating bit for me. If he had carried on like we saw him there, and where he was coming down into the chute, and he turned left after he knew his car wasn't turning left, and he smacked into a driver, then that's a level 3 because he already knows that going left, he can't do it. So that would be a level 3 because you're driving a dangerous car that you know that you can't control, and you've taken another driver off. The mitigating why that wasn't a level 3 is, like Tom said, it's literally just happened. So the driver is trying to assess, can he drive the car back to the pits? But it's so soon after the incident that you can't do. We might see a level 3 later on in the season, so we'll have to wait out to see that. But, we try and look at mitigating second. It's like a red card in rugby, because I'm a big rugby fan. If you look at them, there's clear and obvious red cards that if there's contact to the head, but then there's mitigating circumstances to that. And that's what we try and look at to say, is there any mitigating circumstances why this isn't a level 3? And in our eyes, the mitigating is it's literally just happened and he's trying to assess his car. So that has to come down and take that into account because everybody everybody that has a damaged car will try and drive that back to the pits to try and save on the tow, because the tow.
Yeah, they're going to give it a go, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Right, so Michael Hooper against Thomas Cope. Lap 1, turn 1, doesn't leave room on the outside, hits me, costs me 1 position.
Yeah, Savage. No, like all feedback is what we want. Good feedback, bad feedback. This is why we do it, so you guys can have an opinion on what's happening, and at the end of the day, it helps us learn as well from from what's going on.
To me, I think this is like a carbon copy of almost like Michael's. Is it though? I think he hits the corner here and gets pushed out, but so to me, Michael has got the.
He should be given space, in my opinion. I like. Is this Thomas Cope?
Yeah, this is Thomas Cope. I think Thomas Cope should be given Michael space there. That's my opinion on this one.
Yeah,
but it's not. It's literally.
I think it's level 1.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Level 1. Because basically, Michael's in front of him here. He's trying to get down the inside. That's fair enough. You can get down the inside, but what you can't do is then go into the driver and push him off. You've got to be able to give him space. So I think this doesn't help going onto the curb. If he didn't go onto the curb, he could have taken a tighter line in there and given space. I think he did get pushed out. But then, obviously, no space was given here. So for me, that's a level 1. Do you agree?
Well, it's like the definition of a stage 1 in the rules.
Yeah.
For this. So yeah.
Level 1, yeah?
Yeah.
Thomas. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a nice easy one. Yeah, it's nice to have an easy one, I suppose. David Gill against Gordon Haig.
That's the thing in the pro field as well, isn't it? They're all going for it. No one in the pro field is going slow. So.
They all go for it, don't they? David Gill, where's David Gill? David Gill. Where is he? There he is.
Savage, okay. You just read my mind.
34. Not 34. Turn 1. Okay, let's have a look at this.
It's so crazy how we're jumping from like day to night to day to night.
I know it is.
It feels like we're jumping. Feels like we're jumping to 2 different races.
So that's 34.
Him, but he does make contact. He does lose his position. So
lap 34. Start finish straight. Less than 1 second. Lap car blue flag for at least 4 straights. Failed to yield. Okay.
See, that just shows you that we aren't we aren't biased at all. We love TC. Sound guy, real nice bloke. I hung out with him a couple of weekends ago. Real nice guy, but he was a naughty boy there, so.
So what we're saying here is that Gordon in front is not yielding to David here for 4 straight. So that's the start-finish straight. There was an opportunity to lift there. So he's flashing him now to say, let me past.
Is he within 1 second?
I would say he probably is by there.
Probably by now.
Yeah.
So at this point, he has a 100% legitimate call on being potentially allowed through.
Yeah. So this straight here. So in the rules, guys, and the reason why this is to obviously let through drivers through the fast car, certainly if it's a blue flag. So Gordon should be easing off here and letting him through. I mean, certainly here is closing up. He's flashed his second flash now from to giving Gordon that. And there's still no opportunity to pass. When is the passing move actually done?
It's a bit tricky, isn't it? Because he's yo-yoing a little bit.
He is yo-yoing, and probably just because,
mind you, the loss of downforce. The loss of downforce on this track as well.
Doesn't want to get too close. Now here, he should
be let past there. Yeah,
it should be let past there. 100% is flashing. So this is a classic one, guys, of somebody getting lapped and not yielding to the car behind, slowing up. I mean, what's the lap times? So from 44s to 45s for 3 laps, mid to high 45s. Is that 43 there? Or was that 45? 43. In fact, what lap are we on, actually? David Gill, isn't it? 34.
I'm watching it on crisp 720p Discord, so you'll have to tell me what the numbers say.
I know. It's pretty much the same now. But there's just no yielding at the moment. And the thing is, guys, is that, yeah, okay, you want to race in front and stuff like that, but let's have a look. So Gordon's not like super competitive close. There's a guy in front. So the guy in front of him is not even for position. So he's well out of position. He's getting constantly flashed. You know, let's just have a little bit of respect for the faster cars behind who are trying to keep their pace up to not let somebody catch in. And then we've got somebody.
What were Torben's lap times?
Whose?
Not Torben, sorry. What were the McLaren's lap times?
So this is the McLaren's lap time. Let's see. So 34, wasn't it? Lap 34. Yeah. So we're talking 43, 43, 44. So they're quite quick. But maybe getting pushed along by David pushing him.
And pulled along by the toe slightly in front.
I don't think he's quite in the toe, is he, of the car in front, to be honest. He's quite far back from the
no,
car.
he's not. He's not, sorry.
And now, obviously, David's gone. So this is a classic one, and it is in the rules about blue flags. And I read through the rules to say, so drivers should maintain a normal racing line when drivers are approaching to lap them. Do not change your line when lap car is approaching. When the driving car behind closes to within 1 second of the driver ahead must lift off the throttle on one of the next 2 straights before the braking zone in order to help facilitate the pass. If you don't, a stage 1 penalty will be applied. So basically, there was about 3 or 4 opportunities there for Gordon to obviously lift off on a car, in my eyes. So as per the rules, that's got to be level 1.
Is this a lapped car or a...
Yes, David's in 20 position 23 and Gordon's in 35. So he's coming up to lap him here.
Yeah, so he should definitely be looking to yield.
He should definitely be looking. And the thing is, guys, holding the car up behind is not good for you because that puts you under pressure and you could be prone to a mistake. So just letting off that accelerator, letting him go through, tuck up behind him, and then use his slipstream to pull you along. And it may pull you up to the next car that you're trying to chase because he's naturally a faster, or he's probably looking at, if he's coming to lap you, he may be a faster driver, but be able to pull you along. You know, I mean, you just got to think it of role reversal as well. If you were in that position of behind a car that was holding you up, it's got to work like that, and that's the reason why we look at the blue flag. So for me, that's a level 1 penalty.
Yeah, I agree. Yes. Yeah, it's the thing is that he's lapping him. It's not.
Yes.
It's not. You've got to look at it from your own perspective. If I was lapped, or I was being lapped, I would just have to suck it up and let the other person by. You can't just continue on when you're basically the same speed and he's fighting for 12 places in front of you. It's not respectful, is it? That's just
and it's also
it is.
He's nowhere near the next car in front as well, so there's just no point to doing that. You might as well just let him pass. Obviously, Gordon's not had the best of luck in this race, as we've seen 2 incidents already that his car's been sort of meatballed. So he's not had the best of races himself. It's just don't try to impact anybody else's races and just let people through. And it's more about educating guys. It's not saying that Gordon's solely to blame. It's in this situation, just basically let the cars pass. All right, next one is Michael Goff on Matt Skins from back.
I guess the other way to look at it is, if he's faster, he wouldn't have been caught up, would he? He wouldn't have been caught up.
But it could be that because of his accidents, that's why he's down in that position. But if you're down in that position, and if they're 2 different classes, which they are, like we were saying, and this is trying to help you guys out as well with a point system. Not only does it keep it nice and close for the whole entire season, and it could go down to the last race. It also, for this exact reason, is because, well, I can let him pass, and even if he was fighting me for position, but he's a different class, I'm not losing any points, so I can just let him pass anyway. So there's another way to look at it from the point situation. It's not overall position; it's where you finish within your class. Okay, next one is Michael Goff.
Both quicker anyway.
Yeah, they're both quick drivers. So Michael Goff 14. So let's see what happens.
Simeon said, okay, so if I am lapped, I give the position to the car behind and then drive past him, then it's okay to stay ahead. Within reason. I mean, if they start dropping off 2 seconds a lap, pass them. It's got to be all in context, isn't it?
Turn number 6 was lap 14. Turn 6 is the shoot, isn't it? Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, we remember this one.
We do indeed.
Yeah.
Right. For me, this is the definition of what a sort of borderline level 3 is. So the other one, there's ambiguity between where we were. Now this one,
it's a level 3.
It's the driver here. He's not got that. So this driver up here has not got any damage. I think this was a teammate incident, actually, wasn't it? Come in there. He can see cars here, and this is where I think a bit of frustration comes in. I can completely understand it, but you've got to be aware of other drivers around you. So, if we actually go on board with Mads, and it's a good one to show here. So we can see here fighting. I think it's the teammates coming down into the chute, clips the back end. Both of the drivers come off. Mats is now pushed to the outside of the chute. Really bad position to be in on this track.
Does well there.
He does well here, but now he should be doing an Austin Powers. Is his car damaged? I don't know. Let's have a look.
Savage said needs to get his Austin Powers on.
Exactly. But that's what you need to do, guys. What you've got to be aware of, and it's nothing worse than doing a race and almost getting taken, almost like getting taken out by somebody coming right across the road.
Kraft said he needs to do the Hooper Shuffle.
Is that what we're calling it now?
Okay, I'm calling it the Hooper Shuffle from now on.
So
That's awesome.
I think frustration sort of sets in here because he's just seeing cars go past him. He can't get out, and then decides to make a move, and unfortunately, bang, smacked right in the middle.
He thinks I'll get to the other side quickly, and his back wheels are on the grass as well, aren't they? So he didn't swift as he wanted.
So to me, this is a definition of what a poor rejoin is in my eyes. You know, you can still see on the relative there's a car coming in. You're trying to get out, but you can't. So you would like in this sort of scenario, you would try to stay off the racing line, and do your Austin Powers and just try and move around the best you can here. Now, the other option you do have in this scenario, which is not always one that everybody wants to take, is to go back to the pits. I don't know if his wheel knackered. His rear wheel. Let's have a look. Which one's it's this one, isn't it? That we've no. So let's back it up a little bit.
That just shows you how terrible the steering lock is on the Audi.
Yeah. So he's trying to do a turn there. Like, try and do the Austin Powers, and then...
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. What's happening is his rear wheels aren't allowing him to rotate greatly. Because he's on the grass, he's downhill, he's got no other choice than to go for it to make that turn, but he shouldn't have gone for it then.
You've got to make sure that you leave enough space. I mean, you can see there, I mean, it's hard to see on that corner. I mean, can we see if you can see the car? No. It's hard to see on that corner. I'll give that. That corner.
Yeah, unless you've got VR troubles.
Yeah, unless you're. But you could always look left. I don't even know if you can see that. But he's in the worst possible position down this shoot corner because, you know, you're going down here in fourth gear and then coming down third to second. Around here, you're going to be in third gear, just slowing down, which is still quite quick.
Yeah. I mean, he never meant to do it, obviously.
No, you can sort of see here. Let's see when he actually makes the move. Looking up here, I'm looking up here for the car. There, he starts moving when the car is sort of thing. So, you know, he's taking himself out, but he's also taken another car out from a poor rejoin. So for me,
quite a few cars, wasn't it, in the end?
Yeah, I think so. But so for me, that's like a level 3. And that's the definition of what a level 3 is in my eyes. Had the opportunity to, his car wasn't that he has got some damage slight on the rear left, but he's made the choice because he's probably getting a little bit frustrated. I'm only hypothesizing here that he's getting frustrated. Like, now I want to get out, bang.
I think the trouble is as well, it's such a high speed track, isn't it? The closing speeds here are just insane.
And you can sort of see here that it's pretty much a race ender for Michael because he doesn't do any laps past this. He goes back into the pits and probably calls it a day as well. So it's just to be aware on that you know, level 3s are quite a harsh punishment, but I think in my eyes, I think that one's fitting of a level 3.
Yeah, if you make a bad rejoin and ruin someone else's race, including your own, it's just, yeah.
Okay, next one, Simeon Modclev against Tom Savage, and I think we got the same. We got these two are having a little spat here. I think for the next 3 of these two drivers. So let's see what's occurred in, as our Welsh fans would say.
You quoting Ness?
What?
You quoting Ness from?
Am I putting Ness?
Oh God, no.
Oh, right,
you,
in
Gavin
thingy. Yeah, no, Gavin and Stacey. I was like, that. Am I quoting Ness? What are you on about? It's lucky we're on the same wavelength. I'll sort of get what you're saying.
So
All
everyone
right,
from
so
Norway's like, what the hell is he talking about?
I know. Turn 7. He is too aggressive. Gives many 0x's over multiple laps. One of them was too aggressive and ruins my race because of what corner on a spun. So turn 7, which is the shoot, I think, or is it the heel? So who's up behind? Let's look from Tom.
Yeah, Jonathan, Gavin, and Stacey. All right, Stace, what's occurring?
What's occurring?
At the moment, I'd say that's just hard battling.
Yeah, I'd say that was hard battling. I'd say that was fair enough.
Yep.
Very brave to try and go around the outside, to be honest.
Yep. Why do you guys do these things to us?
So this is, I don't see this one like the standard level 2 that we could give to going into the rear end, because this is super hard racing.
Yeah, it's not a level 2. I don't think it's the level 2.
It's a kiss from a kiss from behind. These two are battling hard. We've obviously watched it from this whole entire race. It seems to be too excessive to go off that much, though, doesn't it?
I think the McLaren eases off potentially. Mid corner.
Let's
awesome battling though, by the way.
Yeah, very good.
What we want to see, yeah, really good battling.
That's fucking neck code again, look. Okay.
I don't know, because there is damage on. Rotate round to the other side of the car.
I'm just. Can I move it? Oh, don't go that. Oh, wrong way.
No, that's not net code.
It's
not that time.
There's no damage though. That's what I'm saying. There's no damage on the back of the car.
Yeah, there wouldn't necessarily be though, because they're at similar speed. D-Moke said it's the Plato tap.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen British touring cars? Yes, we have, and yes, you are correct.
See, to me, this is hard racing. I think this is not malicious at all. This is hard racing, and it was good. It wasn't like the one that we saw last week. I'm trying to think who it was from. I think it was Lass, actually. He came on, where he basically went into the back of a car. That one, for me, is hard racing. I think both of them come off worse for it. So Simeon goes in, hits the back of Jimmy, and then basically Jimmy gets spun around as well. I think that's a racing incident in my eyes. I think really hard battling and really great battling, by the way, between the two of them. But I think...
Can you rewind it again a little bit and then play it full speed, if you don't mind?
Rewind it to where, man? You keep putting your head away from the mic. Where do you want to go from?
Go back. I'll say when I can see the live. Okay, yeah, about here. Full speed's fine. Yeah, it's just a racing incident.
So yeah,
he didn't mean to do it. Yeah, it's a shame that there was so much damage, but it's the tiniest hit. It's because the McLaren's so mid corner and stable. That's why.
I mean, that is like the smallest of taps on the back. That's why I was sort of looking, because there's no damage to the back. So I don't know if why I'm saying there is contact. Don't get me wrong, there is slight contact, but I think where netcode comes in is the way that Simeon gets almost like thrown off.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like most of the time, you'd be able to do
a little tap like that should be able to carry it on, but it's just like, wow, his car spins like 360 near enough from a little slight tap like that.
Yeah, I think it's a racing incident.
Yeah.
And, if you don't think we're right, Simeon, then by all means you can put in a protest against it.
Yeah, I think the racing was so hard, you're going to get occasions like that, I think, to be honest.
Yeah, which is what a racing incident is.
And I think,
Simeon said the only damage on my car was the tyres.
Repeating blocking moves to cover inside, then moves to the outside in response to my positioning. Watch from a cockpit, you can see the move to the inside. So 8, 9, 10, and 13. Is this just hard racing? Because we just watched these two at it. So what's it? Lap 8, 9, and 10. So this is early on as well. These two having a battle all the way. So who's out in front of that?
McLaren.
That's Gordon.
That's good, respectful, gives you room.
Yeah.
I like how you're using his teammate for tow.
I know.
I would have done the same.
It's good watching a decent battle out, actually.
BMW is so stable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just tell the McLarens are twitchy as hell, but that Beamer just seems planted. Yeah, good defend. Yeah. All seems good. They're the same class, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so at no point does the McLaren have to give it to you. I wish you'd see more of this on stream. Brilliant. Maybe I'll have to make a mini video that we can play on Sunday and do highlights of
the highlight battle of the day or whatever.
Crowd said I would be on comms yelling not to give tow. Yeah, agreed. Totally agreed. We would do the same actually if we were on comms racing together. Yeah, this could be more spicy. He's squeezing you, but he's giving you room.
Yeah.
That's a fair old squeeze, but he's still in the white
Still
line.
a car's width. Gets the opportunity to come back down the inside. It's always going to be harder on that outside.
What a battle!
Anyway. Ooh.
What a battle! Sorry, we didn't pick more of this up on the stream. There was a lot going on, to be honest.
Yeah, there was. So I think, guys, I think this is just an awesome battle between you two going on. I don't think Simeon's doing anything wrong. There's no like massively moving under braking to thingy. He is obviously squeezing a bit, which he can do. He's the car in front, just trying to make it a little bit harder. It's just really hard racing, I think. And
yeah, agreed.
I don't see anything wrong with what I'm seeing on screen. There is just really good racing between the two of you, really competitive to try and get it in there. So I'm just enjoying watching it. Actually,
Savage said watch lap 13 specifically.
Try not to do random laps either, I would say. Not give me like 5 laps to look at. All right, is that 13? Let's have a look at this one then. So it looks like he's got the run here. It's closing down.
Not enough, though.
No. It's not enough for that corner, so Simeon has the opportunity to go on the inside if he so wishes to. It's not close enough. So he had the space to do that in my eyes. Coming down into the chute, very brave. You try to make a move through this corner, although pros always try and tell me wrong. Seems to get a good run out of there. Looks down the inside. It's still...
Savage. Ooh, good save. Savage said, "I'll do 5 protests next time."
Yeah, just do 5.
Okay, this is an interesting part to look at. I think is that a double move?
I think it's hard for two. There's 2 because I'm just trying to. So basically, it's moving to the inside, then moving to the outside. It's still not close enough to really be. Now it's under braking. I think there's still room there, maybe to go on the inside. I think it's just racing. I think it really is just racing between the 2 of them. There is room there on the inside if you wanted to try and get down the inside. There was. It wasn't like he completely blocked off. I think you came to the outside, then you came to the inside.
I think it was a bit aggressive, but not enough to warrant anything.
It's more. I don't know. So he comes to the inside, goes to the inside, then changes his mind, goes to the outside. It's still not close enough to really warrant that. Then it's braking, going into the corner.
You have to remember it's only a double movement in a braking zone. You know, you're allowed to move around a bit before the braking zones.
I mean, if it was right up on the ass and it was like you went for the move and he completely blocked you off, but there is daylight, I suppose, between the 2 of you. I think it's just bloody hard racing, guys. If I'm going to be perfectly honest, I think it's really good. You know, I suppose a word of warning to Simeon is, you know, it can be construed as close because you were close to. This is where you're braking into the braking zone. You're now going around the corner, but this bit here. It's still not in the braking zone, so you're moving and then move your car there. If that was in the braking zone and you did that, that could be a different matter. About 5 meters further on, it's just to be aware of that. It's hard racing, but you can't basically just because that's not in the braking zone. You can see the double move. You can see the movement there. He's not got his brakes on. He moves left, moves right, and then starts to brake and then comes back into the corner. It's a close one, but I think
it's a very close one to call.
Yeah, I think because you 2 have been battling super hard for like the past 5-6 laps, it's just having that.
It's getting heated, yeah. So he needs to make his intentions a bit more clear as well.
Yes,
you know, it's because you break into the middle of the track there.
Is there anything further on?
I think from Simeon, it's a bit overly aggressive, but it's not. You know, it's touch and go whether it's a penalty because if it had been like you said, if it had been 10 meters, 5 meters into the braking zone and he'd done that, or come across and made contact and caused a crash or something like that, then you know the outcome would be different. But that's why every incident is not the same. Looking at how hard you guys were racing as well. I mean, I imagine the blood's pumping and, you know. But yeah, you've got to be very careful because weaving around and double moves and stuff, it can be race ending for people. So just
we want to promote racing like this because hats off to both you guys. You know, it was really good racing, and you can see the attempts that have been trying to go on between both of you to make the passing moves, and both of you are super brave into corners to doing it. But yeah, like Tom said, just be aware of this. If you're going to choose a line, choose that line. Don't do, you see there what you did, it's borderline. So you come across, you give in. If I slow it down, we can sort of see it and try and talk through it. So coming off this corner, it looks like Tom has got a better line because he's got that nice tight line that he can get on the acceleration a lot earlier because the Macca is a little bit further out. So you can sort of see here the gap is starting to close down slightly. Now the Macca obviously gets on the full power now and is able to go away. So it has got good grunt as the Macca when it's in a straight line. So you don't see the gap closing as quick as it was on that corner. So you've got to make your intentions really obvious coming into a corner. So you can see there you're going on the outside. Tom's coming down the inside. They're still able to make the movement in there. It's not close enough that it's going to be. But you make your intentions on the inside and then sort of take the steering off. You're not in the braking zone. Now you're in the braking zone. If you did that in the braking zone, and Tom was coming closer than that. This is a line. This, for me, is that Simeon is basically keeping on his line going around the corner. But that last movement is where that contact was caused on his hand. And somehow it manages to pop itself out. It must be the fiberglass thingy, the fiberglass bumper on it. But it's a close one. And it's probably worth it.
It's very close. Yeah, very close.
As a warning that, if that was when you were braking, then that is what would be classed as moving under braking. I think because you're on the straight and you're hard battling between the two, we'll put it down as an educational one with a racing incident on there. But just be aware of doing that into the braking gear. So, you put your brakes on there, but luckily you've made that move where you're looking on the outside to do it. If that was here, if you started going over and then moved over, then that would be classed as moving in the braking area. But because you've done it beforehand, it's that touch and go in my eyes. So I think it's a racing. I'll put it down as a racing incident, but one to be aware of and educate everybody on. One, the fact that it was a really good race and a battle between the two drivers. But secondly, you've got to respect each other, even when you're this close to racing, to be able to make sure that you're not going to cause an incident. Because if that was closer and Tom was closer and you did that and you took him out, you would have taken both of you out, and that would have been the race ending for both races. Do you agree with that, Tom, or what?
Yeah, I 100% agree, mate. 100%.
Yeah. But on a positive side, that was a cracking little race we watched there for a couple of laps between you two guys. So I think that's it. I think we finally got to the end of the protest. So there were some good protests there to go through, and you certainly like to challenge us. I'll give you that, guys. Some bloody borderline ones there.
We appreciate everyone's comments.
Yeah, 100%. We're said, we're not FIA stewards, not by the stretch. We're racers that look at incidents purely on the merit of what we're seeing. We do have guidelines, and like with any rule set, you have guidelines of what would class this, what would class that, what would class that. But like Tom said, every incident is different, and there'll be mitigating circumstances in every one. So we've seen what is a level 2 there for the damage that was caused on Gordon Haig's car coming up the S's and hitting a car. And then we've seen a level 3 with Matt literally driving into the path of an oncoming car. And that is what we call an unsafe rejoin onto the car, because literally you got T-bone with the car, took the other driver out. And it's always down to you to think. And the way you look at this and think about this is looking at it from the other side of it, is that if you were that driver coming down and a car was coming in front and you could see you can't do anything, and hits and it ends your race, then it's you got to think of it from that point of view as well, guys. So that's the two different ones. It's good that we've seen what we would class as a level 2 in that sort of incident and a level 3. But Gordon's would have been different if it was further on.
Agreed.
So I think that's it. So hopefully that explains some there. Some good education there for you, the drivers, out of that. But yeah, I think
I'll do a quick shameless plug at the end of the stream here. So thank you everyone for taking the time to watch. But as we were saying before, if you enjoy watching the streams back and everything, please hit the like button. That is a big thing for us. So because obviously we're just trying to grow the channel, and we want to bring better racing, better streams, and all that sort of stuff. And the only way YouTube actually promotes your content or cares is if people like, thumbs up, and ultimately subscribe to our channel. So it's all going really well, and we just appreciate your time. So thank you, thanks everyone for coming along and watching us tell people off.
Yeah, and obviously in the drivers chat, if you'd like to see something else on this pit stop, we'll try and add it and grow it into something that you want to see on there. But it's great that we do have a really good community within the Discord, and hopefully these are a benefit of. I think this is probably the first league I've seen with not toxic environment after the penalties have been done. I think
I
you
agree.
see a lot of other leagues where as soon as the penalties are thingy, the toxicness in the chats. But you guys take it within your stride, and obviously the rules that you can protest it if you want to anyway. So appreciate all your support and making it grow and stuff like that. So it's been good.
It's been emotional.
It's been emotion. It's been emotion. So I think that's it, guys. Yeah, I think that's it. Obviously, we've got Road Atlanta coming up on Sunday. It's going to be a morning race, so it should be pretty much all in the light. So you don't have that. But then we have Road America that I think will be another day-night race for you guys to contend with. So it's going to be interesting coming up. But I think, Tom, have you got any final words, mate?
No, just a big thanks to everybody, and looking forward to Sunday. Let's go racing.
100%. Definitely is. But so from myself, Andy, from Tom beside us, look forward to seeing you out on Sunday. Keep the banter going in the Discord, and we'll see you on the flip side. We're going to let you have the video again that Tom has made for the last time. So thank you very much, guys, and see you soon.